Welcome to How Can I Wear That Fashion and Beauty Talks. This is episode 3. My name is Tamara and I'm a personal stylist. I answer all your questions on style trends and how to style with purpose. This week's special guest is Allison, who is a mind, body, spirit coach. We're talking about her journey in becoming a coach, as well as how things shifted for her in 2020.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to How Can I Wear That Fashion and Beauty Talks. I am thrilled to have today Allison, who is a mind, body, and spirit mentor. Her and I met through another Facebook group, which right now the name has totally escaped me. But with that being said, let's welcome Allison. Hello, thank you for joining us.
Hi, it's so nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's hear a little bit about who you are and, how you got started as a mind, body, and spirit mentor.
Thank you. Well, it's been quite a journey is how I like to describe it. And I really have to take you back to kind of where I was about a little less than 10 years ago, sort of back in university days. And I was going through a very dark period of my life in terms of how I was feeling about my body and how it was looking and also how I was treating it, really. Mm-hmm. I felt very uncomfortable in my skin. I was overweight. If we're from a fashion perspective, I didn't want to go shopping for clothes because I felt like nothing fit. I was frustrated trying to go shopping and feeling like I was never the size that I wanted to be, and I just felt that need of, I need to lose weight, I need to be skinnier, I need to be prettier, I need to be something else. I just want to be anything but what I was in that moment. And I wasn't looking at how I could take better care of my body. I was looking at what's the next diet I can do. How could I do a no carbs, no sugar, and I'd do it for a day and then I'd feel awful the next day and I'd binge eat on a bunch of chocolate covered almonds or whatever and then regret it and then feel bad.
Totally there with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm like, yes, me too. Oh.
Yeah, I know I'm not alone in that. It's so important to me to share this story because so many people do this cycle, and I think it's a lot of what's been taught to us over the years from when we were younger or from what we read in magazines or fitness magazines that always said lose 30 pounds now, get a bikini body, telling us that we're not good enough how we are and that we need to do these crazy diets to fit into a certain size, to be something else, to be something we're not. Right. And so I had just been completely sucked in by all of that without realizing it or seeing it. And it was affecting me on a mental level where I just was like, okay, if I tell myself I hate my body enough, then maybe that'll motivate me to go on this crazy diet and stick with it and to change. Right. And that's the only way I could see it. So when I hit a point of, I guess, a breaking point of not being able to take that feelings anymore, I found help in a fitness coach. And luckily this was someone close to me and my family who is a personal trainer. And so he taught me everything I needed to know at that time and so much more for years later of working out. So we went to a gym and I started weight training for the first time ever. Yes, before I had done running, I tried spinning, I tried yoga, but nothing ever super consistently or with like a methodology or a science behind it or behind the method and the process. So he taught me about fitness and then also about nutrition. And so this is the first time I started eating differently and trying to, I was still in the mindset at that time of I'll lose weight if I do X, Y, Z, right. And I'll get that body that I want and I'll feel better then. Mm-hmm. So for now, I'm just going to get through it and do it. And I did start to fall in love with the process of working out slowly along the way. I ended up doing a bikini competition, like a bodybuilding fitness,
Wow.
standing on stage in a small bikini in front of a huge group of people,
Yeah.
only 4 months after just my first learnings of fitness and health and nutrition. So I had lost about 20 pounds and I was feeling smaller, and I thought, like, this is it. I feel great. Although I was like, this is it. And then quite quickly, not even a month later, I didn't put the same energy in afterwards to keeping up with my body. And I fell right back into the same patterns that I had before. And I gained like probably all the weight right back. And it was very quick and quite shocking. So as you can imagine, quite quickly, I fell into a pattern of kind of going back to those binging on the chocolate covered almonds again, because I felt frustrated, sad, scared, not sure why this had happened to me again. You know, and so that was really hard and very challenging at that time, and hard to find any kind of self-love or confidence in myself and my body. But I hit a point again where I said, okay, all I can do is either stay like this or move forward. And so I decided that, again, it was time to just pick myself up again. What have I learned? What else do I need to learn? And I'm just going to try again. And so then I just fully immersed myself into learning more. I became a personal trainer. I'm certified in CanFit Pro, TRX, boot camp, a couple of different things. And I worked with some clients for a short period of time as a personal trainer at Good Life Fitness. And I then just kept going and learning. And I spent about 5 years just consistently going to the gym and working out and working on that relationship with food and with my body, and trying to come from a place of doing the right habits of nutrition and exercise that would just make me feel better and look better. So I got to a point where I said, okay, I still love the idea of competing, even though the first time I definitely was guided in the right place in terms of fitness and nutrition, but I fell off track afterwards because I didn't do the things I was supposed to do. So I said, I'm going to try this again. So I did another show. And looked completely different from the first one because I had been doing bodybuilding and powerlifting for consistently 5 years. So I had already felt a transformation physically and mentally starting to happen. But then what happened was, about 3 or 4 months, I had slowly gained some of that weight back on after that show again, even though I thought, okay, I had all the pieces of the puzzle, all the knowledge, all the resources. I'd been through it one time before. I thought I had it just figured out and nailed down. And so that was frustrating. And like the clothes that I had bought after that show, being like, this is my new body now, they weren't fitting anymore. I had bought like this tiny pair of skinny jeans and I couldn't button them up, and they just sat in my closet for a year and I couldn't wear them. And that was frustrating. And so I didn't want to buy more clothes because I was like, well, what weight am I? Am I going to stay here? Am I going to get back to that? So what changed for me, and what I really want to share with people, and what I'm really dedicating my life now to being a coach for others in terms of mindset, is this is what changed everything for me, was when I realized that I could do all the work on the outside, but until I change on the inside and how I feel about myself on the inside, the outside will never make a difference, or the clothes will never feel, like the right fit. So I spent time just slowing down and deciding that I was going to build myself up from a place of love, not from a place of hate or from a place of need or from a place of needing to be this body weight or this size or this goal, just from a place of my body needs love and it needs healthy food because that's how we function, that's natural. It needs exercise because when we sweat, we release endorphins, we feel better, we feel more confident. And so I said, I'm just going to do these things as much as I can in the most loving way possible for myself. And I'm going to think from, and this is very key, I'm going to think from the point of already being everything that I want and dream and desire to be. So the way I imagine my body looking and feeling in my clothes, and the way I present myself to others with confidence or grace, that's how I want to be. And I'm going to each morning set myself in that intention every day. So I did that. And as I did that and put my focus on being that person and living life in her shoes every day, that's when I actually did lose weight without being on a diet or without counting all my calories. And it was just a matter of, yes, I did the workouts, but I did them because I enjoy them and love them. And so things just kind of fell into place that way. So that is really how I got into becoming a mind, body, spirit coach, because I really want to teach as many women as possible and share in as many ways as possible that missing link of that mind and mind, body, spirit connection that can give us self-love and confidence in our bodies and how it is right now. And you don't even need to change. You don't have to go through a transformation like I did. You can feel that now, but it takes some mindset changes and tweaks in order to make that happen.
Well, I think it's also a lifestyle, right? I mean, I think especially as women, we've always gone through those yo-yo diets and, trying to fit in and not really, accepting ourselves for who we are. It doesn't matter where we are with our own bodies, but it really starts with the internal side. I think I found a quote last week where it was something by Coco Chanel of like, you have to feel beautiful on the inside before you can be beautiful on the outside. Probably said that all wrong, but the point is that it's really thinking about yourself and that you deserve it. I mean, I've had my own clients in the past where it's like, they want to just cover themselves up completely. And then I realize as I start to peel the onion or the layers off that they do have a body shape. Maybe it's not this straight size, but they have a figure there. And there is something to be said about that. To me, I mean, I talk about this a lot of a young woman I helped wear a suit for an interview. And again, she wasn't straight size, but because the clothes fit her, and she also had that cheerleader in her corner, me who's like, oh my God, whoa. And she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, no, you look amazing. Like I was, it was genuine because I was like, wow, she like has such a great body and she looks like smoking. So I love the fact that you really, dive in deep and you have your own, personal story to talk about of like you've been through it. And I think a lot of us have, but sometimes it's harder when someone's like, hey, let's take a moment and really like dive in deep, versus just let's fix the external. How you've shared your experience and your story and how you got to where you are. What is it like? How do you work with your clients that using your own experience?
Yeah, I have a couple of different methods, but the key element, because I also work with a nutritional company that I'm aligned with. And so, yes, I have some products that I offer some of my clients based off their needs, depending on what their goals are or how they want to feel. But in order to make the change, I work with people one-on-one in terms of like a coaching environment. Mm-hmm. And so I have, depending on the program, it could be as low as like a 15-minute call once a week, or it could be an hour call once a week, or a 15-minute call every 2 weeks. So it can range, but it's definitely that one-on-one communication and talking that is how we kind of peel the layers of the onion. Mm-hmm. Because we have all these things from our past, like past stories, limiting beliefs, habits. Like for me, I used to always tell myself I wasn't athletic. I wasn't very athletic growing up. I liked sport or like pro athlete on the team. And so I carried that story with me for a long time of like, oh, I've always been a little overweight. I've always been, just kind of on the sidelines. So no one really notices me. I'm just kind of here and quiet and doing my thing. And so that was a story I told myself for a long time. And when I realized that pattern was holding me back from this higher grade fit and athletic, and we can inspire other people to find health and confidence in their own skin and in their natural beauty, then I was like, I need to let go of that person from the past. She's not serving me anymore. I thank her for, who I was at the time, and it got me to where I am now, but now that's over. And now I'm just moving forward to the past. So that's something too, that in those one-on-one communications, I can ask questions to find out, okay, what are the thought patterns subconsciously that are holding you back from being who you want to be, reaching that goal you want to have. And then we can kind of work at, it could be positive affirmations, all of the visualization, yes, doing the healthy eating, drinking the water, the exercise as needed, but those things are kind of obvious. It's this mindset and the one communication that we can get deep to create lasting change.
And I think it's also being a cheerleader, right? Like having someone in your corner. It definitely takes, hearing it from somebody else versus like you said, like I wasn't athletic, I just stayed to the sidelines. Those are all limiting beliefs, but because we haven't really tried, we think maybe someone said something to us that kind of put us on the sidelines, but we don't actually try and put that effort in. With that being said, I definitely want to hear, now that you've, gone through your experience to be able to work with clients, who is your like fashion icon or someone that, you look to for style and inspiration?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And it makes me think a little bit, because I think back to when I was younger, I used to read all the fashion and beauty magazines and loved that world. And I remember I used to watch like fashion TV too, but I'm at all not a fashionista at all right now, although I wish I was. So I admire your style and passion for it so much. So thinking about who inspires me now, I think I get a lot of inspiration from just some of the natural influencers on social media and some who are in fitness. So there's one, Stephanie Buttermore on Instagram, who I follow. She has gone through quite her own physical and mental transformation in terms of getting comfortable in her body and her skin. And she's documented that journey in a really inspiring way. She's a doctor and like a personal trainer and scientist, and I love seeing her posts and how she presents her outfits in a very natural way of, this is just me and my body and what feels good in it. And if I want to wear a cute sports bras and fashionable pants, she does that, and she does it so that it just makes her like, you can just see that she's confident in what she's wearing because she's put together the right pieces. And sometimes just something as so simple as a workout outfit, which is just spandex, but it's funny how something like that, with the confidence, the way it's worn, you can just shine.
Well, I can say like I have a few pieces that are bright and you can see me a mile away. I really quite like them. And it's funny you bring up Fashion TV. That's very much a Canadian program. Jeannie Becker was the host, and I loved the fact that she was with her mic all the time. I mean, I watched it as well growing up. That she's kind of a Canadian icon, right? She really persevered in the fashion industry when Canada was not very much on the map when it came to like fashion and style. So that's funny you bring that up. I really love that. what has, 2020 has been such a year. It's very different. I think as a world globally, we're going through such a big change. Has anything really changed within your own business and working with your clients, or has everything kind of been the same, but now you're just going more virtual? Like how has it shifted for you?
I have had a complete shift and overhaul, and I've really seen that this pandemic and time, it is what we make of it. I mean, if anybody who has lost somebody or experienced illness or sickness, that's a different story, but many of us are dealing with some of the everyday elements of it. And for me, when the pandemic hit, I had been working in advertising as a account supervisor for quite a number of years. Is what I went to school for, and have been doing it for, I think, at least 8 years. And I think 2 weeks into quarantine, my job did a massive layoff of people, and I was one of those people. So I felt that initial reaction of fear and frustration and worry and panic. And I felt it for maybe like 10 seconds. And then I let go of it and just said, now what? Now what can I do? I think this happened for a reason. I know that's a saying many people believe in. I think I'm firmly rooted in that things happen for a reason. And in the darkness, you can find light. It's just all a matter of your perspective. Mm-hmm. So I just looked for the opportunity in it. And so really since then, that's when I've gone full force into my business and into meeting and finding more women who need help like this in their lives. And so yeah, it's completely transformed. I wouldn't be doing as much with as many people and creating as many different programs and layers as I am now. I'm also writing a book. I'm the author of the upcoming book, Unicorn Syndrome. So that's going to be all about how to stop trying to be unique because you already are. And that just talks about the internal to the outside reflection.
Oh, very cool. I love the unicorn. I always just say I am a unicorn. We're all unicorns, right? But trying to create that when it's already there, that's a fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We had already talked beforehand, and you had talked about your own personal style, and going through all of these changes, from where you were in, college and university to where you are today, what would you describe as like your own fashion style? Is it more like you want to be, I don't like to use the word trend, but I guess we'll use the word trend, or just being, comfortable in clothes and knowing that it's what's fitting you and works for you? That was my horrible question, but yes. If that makes sense.
I got it. That was a perfect question. I would say that my own style definitely isn't trends as much as I would like to be in all the trends. I feel like I just don't see them soon enough to know what the trends are. So I'm much more about just finding clothes that are simple and basic and things that just make me feel good on my body. I like things that show off my shape and figure, not because I'm not even, I have an even greater vision of what I could be in terms of a level of fitness, but I am so happy and so loving where I am right now because that's the relationship that I've built. So I'm happy to wear clothes that just feel good. And a lot of times that's just basics like jeans and a white t-shirt, or I love like crop tops and shorts. And it's just about being comfortable in my skin.
Well, and I think it's also having clothes that fit you, right? And I hear it a lot of, I want to be comfortable. And majority of the time, I'm always asking, well, are your clothes not fitting you properly? I'm confused because you should, feel good in what you're wearing because it fits you properly.
Mhm.
Stacey London said it all the time, if you need to buy a bigger size or go up in size, maybe you need to have it tailored in the waist because your hips are, fuller than what traditional sizes are. Because again, what's made in stores is supposed to fit everybody, but we don't all have the same body type, right? So I love the fact that, yes, it might be, they call it like the simple, basic, or minimalist look. But with that being said, if things are fitting you properly, then ultimately that's truly what matters, and that you feel good with what you're wearing. Now, I want to know that you already sort of sparked something on us that you are writing a book, which is very exciting. Congratulations on that. But tell something to everyone that's watching, something about yourself that we wouldn't know or wouldn't think of, something unique about yourself.
Sure. I think what comes to mind for me, and this is embarrassing to share, but I'll share it because I guess it's maybe a fun tidbit for other people. And to say first and foremost, when I was a child, and when I say child, I mean up till when I was like 22 years old, I was the pickiest eater that you could ever imagine. So the fact that the foods I eat now, I maybe ate like 1% of them growing up. Like I just completely changed my food palette. So anyone who has an excuse of like, oh, food, I love sugar, I love this, I can't like make those changes. Yes, you can. So that's just one thing. But the thing about me is one of my favorite foods as a kid, and this is going to sound so strange, I used to make with hard shell tacos, peanut butter with cheddar cheese, and that was like my lunch, because my dinner, because I didn't like ground beef and I didn't like the lettuce and the tomatoes. So when my family had taco night, that's how I made my tacos.
I've never heard that.
No, because it's weird. I haven't eaten it since then, I have to say. But when I was a kid, that's like what I did.
That I've never heard. That's interesting. Mind you, I do have like my mom's other half. He likes to have a pork. Oh my goodness, a pork chop, like the breaded pork chop. I know the name, but I don't. And he puts jam on it, and I don't really quite understand that, but the peanut butter and cheese is a different one. I could see like a hard tortilla with peanut butter if you like deep fried it in butter. Anyways,
Wow. Oh, that's a good invention.
that would be like, that sounds so dirty, but so good at the same time. Now my brain's like, oh, food.
Combine our two like food babies into one. That would add the cheddar cheese on top, fried, and
there could be something there. I mean, was it Snickers or Mars bars used to be deep fried? That was really a big thing for a while. So I mean, hey, that's what food is, right? Same thing like fashion, just being creative, and some things work and then some things just don't work at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, Allison, for being here in the How Can I Wear That community. It's such a pleasure to have you. Remember, everyone, that you can join me every single Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for new interviews. Again, Allison, thank you so much. This was awesome to get to know you and more about mindset. And I will see everyone in the next one. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into today's video. If you'd like to learn more about Allison and follow on her journey, you'll be able to find all of the details below. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with all of your friends. And like I always say, it's not about who you wear, but how you wear it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.